Welcome, I'm Elizabeth and I am living in the light. I am documenting my health transformation using the Optavia 5-in-1 program. Today, we're going to cook a lean and green, so join me as I make a zucchini casserole. Before I get started, I would really appreciate it if you would take just a second to click like and to click subscribe and join me, become part of my tribe, show me support and encouragement as I work through this journey. So today's recipe came from thehatqueen.com, and she had a recipe for a zucchini casserole. Now I didn't have zucchini, but I had this great summer squash. I actually got a few of them from a friend of mine. So I'm going to use this zucchini, this summer squash, to make the zucchini casserole, and I know it works because I've already done it. So what you're gonna need is 170 grams of grated summer squash or zucchini. You are going to need egg whites, 14 tablespoons, or the equivalent of 7 egg whites. You are going to need 2 Laughing Cow cheese wedges, the original kind, some grated Parmesan cheese, 3/4 of a cup of 1% cottage cheese, a little bit of salt if you want that. The recipe calls for a 1/2 teaspoon, but honestly, I made it the other day, and I think a Laughing Cow probably has plenty of salt in it, and I really feel like it didn't need the salt at all. So I would leave the salt out, and then if you need to add a little sprinkle before you eat, then you can go ahead and do that. The first step is to go ahead, of course, you're gonna wash. I just cut the end off of this one, and then I am going to grate this. Probably not going to need the whole thing, but I'm going to go ahead and just grate the whole thing. So the first step after I grate it is I'm going to measure out 170 grams. So I have my scale zeroed out, set on grams, and then I'm just going to add the squash. There we go, 170 grams of squash. That's a pretty good amount. The next step then is to take the squash and put it in a colander. I use a wire mesh sieve and just press out as much of the liquid as you can. I'm gonna do that and then I'll be right back. Step number 2 is to create the filling, and that is the 3/4 of a cup. I'm gonna put this all in my blender. 3/4 of a cup of the 1% cottage cheese, the 14 tablespoons of egg whites, which is basically 3/4 of a cup, so there's 4 tablespoons in 1/4 of a cup, so 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 more. It's probably going to be all that I have left in here. A little bit more. So the egg whites go in. I forgot to mention the 1/4 of a cup of plain unsweetened almond milk, and then the 2 wedges of the Laughing Cow cheese. And then I'm going to pop the top on my blender and run this in the blender until it's smooth, and then I will be back. I have my oven preheating at 350. So first I'm going to spray the pan. The next thing, which is extremely helpful, is to take 1/2 of the Parmesan cheese, so 1/2 tablespoon of Parmesan cheese, and just sprinkle that across the bottom of your pan. That just kind of helps to protect the bottom of the pan from moisture. And I've squeezed all the liquid out of the squash, so I'm just gonna spread this around the bottom of the pan. Right, then I'm going to just pour my blended filling over everything. The last step is to take the last half of a tablespoon of the Parmesan cheese and just sprinkle that over the top. And as soon as my oven dings and tells me that it is hot, I'm going to slide this into the oven for 45 minutes, and then I will be able to enjoy it, and I'll tell you how it counts as a lean and green. 45 minutes later, and we are done. So what are the counts for this? This entire pan, if you wanted to sit down and eat this is a 7 by 11 baking dish, would be one complete lean and green. It has one lean, has 3 greens, has actually one leanest, 3 greens, 1 healthy fat, and 3 condiments in there. But I don't know that I would really enjoy just eating this. So what I did, I made this the other day, and I also added, I ate half of it, my husband ate half of it, and we did grilled shrimp. So I had 3.5 ounces of grilled shrimp. That was half of a leanest. I did some cucumbers and tomatoes as my other 1.5 greens, with a little bit of vinegar as my condiment and a little salt. Those were my leftover condiments. And on my shrimp, there was a little bit of oil and a little bit of Cajun seasoning. So that totaled my one half of a leanest, 1.5 greens, 1 healthy fat, and 1.5 condiments to balance out this whole meal. So the recipe is down below. I will give you some extra information about that. I hope that you'll try this. I made this with summer squash. The recipe called for zucchini. Again, this was from foodiequeen.com, and I will give her credit where credit is due in the information box down below. Please give this a try. Let me know what you think. If you have other recipes you'd like me to try, leave those in the comments below. Please subscribe, please share, please like this video, and until next time, live in the light.